Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about the Social Security Fairness Act of 2023 and kind of where we're at with it 5 months later. Here we are in May and almost June just about, and the Social Security Fairness Act was signed into law January 5th of 2025. The effective date of the repeal is December of 2023, which impacts your benefits paid in January of 2024. So let's say, as an example, that you were a person over your full retirement age and you maybe waited until the law was signed to inquire about benefits. The standard retroactive period for back pay when you're over your full retirement age is up to 6 months. That's the most back pay that you can get. So let's say that you were 70, as an example, and you waited till January 5th. The furthest back that they'll back pay you with retroactivity would be July of 2024. Something that's been getting some momentum, and I actually have a client that I'm helping with this exact same issue right now, and I'm hoping whoever watches this, there's more of you out there. If so, please contact me. But if you're somebody who previously contacted Social Security before the law was changed, and maybe you were persuaded not to file a claim for benefits, that seems to be getting some momentum. This is something that I recognized previously when I worked for the Social Security Administration. On more than one occasion, I heard representatives basically say something to the equivalent of, you could file if you wanted to, but it's not going to really make a difference because you're not payable, right? You wouldn't be due a check. So if let's say they took the claim and you got your award notice, it would say you're now entitled to benefits, but we can't pay you at this time because of the amount of your pension or whatever the offset might be, right? That would have actually been the correct thing to do. I don't know why employees were persuading people not to file. That's not their job. In fact, I would go and venture and say that's probably unethical. They shouldn't be giving any advice like that. The only thing that the representatives should be doing there is giving you all of the information that you need to make the best decision possible for yourself. They're not your financial advisor. They're not a personal representative of yours. They should essentially be a neutral party. And the reason why they would do this, at least in my view, is because it's less work for them, right? So if you're an appointment and you come in and they basically persuade you not to file, now that's an hour that they just killed out of their day where they don't have to do anything. And that's the unfortunate truth of it. In 99% of the cases. I'm sure some people thought like, okay, yeah, I'm advising them that they're just going to get no money basically, so why would they even do it? But again, they shouldn't be doing that. And maybe they, will err on the side of caution and give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they didn't realize it. But unfortunately now it's starting to catch up with them, okay? And it's gotten some traction to the point at the, I want to say it's at the Senate level, and I'm sure a couple congressional representatives as well are kind of realizing this, that, hey, we did this, we signed this into law, and anybody who contacts them now, even though it could impact them up to 12 months ago, at least with when the law was changed, now they're only getting 6 months, right? So I feel like almost dangling the carrot in somebody's face where you're saying, oh yeah, we're going to take it back to January of 24, but well, you contacted us today, so now we can only go back to July of 24. And that's not right. So anybody who was impacted by this, I don't know what the remedy would be to something like that at face value, I'll say. But in the case of my client, there are avenues to pursue. Everybody's case is very unique. I often use the example, you and your twin sister could have married twin brothers, and their situation is completely different than yours. So again, if you're somebody who maybe previously contacted the Social Security Administration, so whether that means you were filing for a retirement claim and were aware that you were eligible for, potentially eligible for spouse benefits, but you didn't file for them because of GPO, or maybe you reach out about retirement benefits, but you didn't file for them because of the windfall elimination provision, something like that. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm open to taking these cases and kind of analyzing them to see if, if we can get you that extra 6 months that realistically some people are going to get and some people aren't. It's going to be a claim by claim basis, and unfortunately, they have likely created more work for themselves than what they anticipated with the implementation of this law and their policy. Now, with that being said, it does appear that a new Social Security Commissioner is in the works. I can't recall off the top of my head if he's been appointed yet, but I know he's been nominated at the very least. And, maybe they're able to implement something, with the policy that's in place and the retroactivity that can be granted. But as far as the law goes, which it wouldn't really make a difference either way, right? The law is the law. The repeal was removed December of 2023, and now it's going to fall on Social Security policy, which is how the agency is interpreting that law and how they can apply the rules on whether or not they're going to take you all the way back. Depending on your contact date. If you were somebody that was already on the record, let's say December of 23, if you're already on whatever applicable record is going to draw benefits, whether it's retirement, spouse, widow, whatever it might be, you're going to be good to go. Even if you haven't been paid now, because I'm a part of a number of Facebook groups and I see people that are basically saying, I'm still waiting on my payment, I'm still waiting on my payment. Although that's slowed down, eventually they'll catch you up. They will. And if they don't, I would urge you to write a formal letter to your local Social Security office and say, I am inquiring on the status of past due benefits based off of the Social Security Fairness Act of 2023 as it stands, right? Then if they only give you 6 months versus 12 months, that's where you have your appeals rights. You file your appeal, and then they go from there. But again, once you initiate that, especially if it's on your own, you are on your own on that. But if you think that you have a case and you might need some help, again, please feel free to reach out to me, as this is something that I absolutely am interested in. I think I'm optimistic for my current client that they'll take her back. But again, her situation is completely different than the next person. Her set of circumstances, past claims filing, things like that. There's all those little nuanced details. They matter. No matter how small the detail, it all matters. And it's what creates your case, your set of circumstances, and the result that should be yielded from there.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your bell notifications so that you're always notified whenever I'm posting new content. If you have a question or want me to cover another topic, please leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to address it as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.